But I wonder when that leads literally, but like it has to be okay. Like poison ivy, like adjacent to your we won't have to. Can you say that? What we can do? It says it's not an issue. Right. But I'm saying, if something's not our own, we can ask. It's like fucking right. It's a bounty violation for us. Yeah. It's just how is that? But what he's trying to do is just make it wasn't reside there. It's garbage in there. It's garbage there. So poison ivy there. That's when I said, oh, they're forgotten. No, I think you're right. The way I think the parents for that's is that they're taking the position. You can ask yourself. So you know sometimes there's a part of the section of the part on the opposite side. That's not the garbage.
Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, October 26, 2022, 9:30 meeting. So everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, do you have any remarks?
I guess for those of you who have not been before, the Secretary confirmed all each case. Those of you who signed in opposition or interested in this case will also come forward when the case is called along with the applicant and or the representative of the applicant. Other than that, proceed.
We do have two requests for adjournment. First, we have case 66422, Beale Beach, Alex Hamilton. Install 6-foot-high fence border of the dwelling on Fairway Road, which may substantially obstruct line of sight and within clear sight triangle, known as 143 Fairway Road.
Just sworn in.
That's what it is.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
How you doing? I'm just here to request an adjournment to the traffic canal.
Okay, and so, Patrick, what are the days that it's Is it only the effective mailing that you have to do?
Yes.
We do November 30th.
That's November 13th. Okay, do you know when you need to mail for that?
I have everything set in one to the employers.
Okay. Okay, so put you down at 9:30 or 2 o'clock?
That's it.
Okay. November 30th at 9:30.
Thank you.
See you.
Next, we have case 9522 Belmore, Sarah Gusto. Special exception to construct accessory structure, pavilion with storage, kitchen, and fireplace higher. Larger than permitted and receives horizontal maximum on both sides, also known as 2764 Data Hole.
Okay, you give your name and address for the record.
Right, my name is Melissa Graham from 124 French Street, Massachusetts Park, 11763.
What is the reason you need to seek an adjournment?
We need to seek an adjournment. We just got the denial for the cabana. But now my clients added a water feature to the pool, so I have to update their pool plans to make sure that that feature doesn't require variances.
Okay, so you have the adjournment that you just got for the cabana. Is that need to be added to the case, or is that already part of one of these items in the case?
The cabana is the case, the pool may need to be added.
Okay. I'm just trying to think what you need.
They need like December.
Okay, and that, you have it ready to go back to the building department, or you have that there?
The cabana is denied and ready to go. I just need the updated plans for the pool. They
Okay.
added a water feature. I just need to make sure the setback doesn't require variance.
Right, so that added feature has not yet gone to the building department, so you still have to get out there and get it.
Correct.
Is the pool up?
The pool has been permitted. They have a permit for it. That was permitted. The pool is constructed, but then they added this water feature that they didn't realize needed a permit.
December 7th.
December 7th? December 7th at 9:30. See you then.
I believe we have one more request for adjournment.
Okay, so.
Okay, this is case 66122 through 66222 Franklin Square, Michelle Rodeo Rossier. Maintain outdoor kitchen higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum. Special exception to maintain second accessory structure, fire pit, special exceptions to maintain third accessory structure of the building higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximums on both sides, known as 459 Jefferson Street.
This is a German course?
You know what? Now that you read it, I don't need a German. I can do it.
Okay, you need to swear in.
Oh, good.
Or what would you have to know?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Any other cases for adjournment? 672. Very good.
No, we didn't.
672, 672.
No, we didn't.
Okay. Sorry. 672, 673, 22 West Hempstead. Jennifer Simonowitz. Variance lot area occupied. Construct two-story addition, second-story addition, and first-story addition, all attached to dwelling. Variance lot area occupied. Construct shed, also known as 14 Hawthorne Street.
Can you manage for the record?
Robert Hoffman, 20 Meadow Drive, 3F, Woodsburg, New York, 459.
And what's the reason that you need to seek an adjournment?
We have come to what we know there are a lot of objections to this project, so we'd like to address them
Okay.
and tonight we address it before coming forward.
Okay, how much time do you think you need?
If we can get to mid-December, it would be great. There's a meeting on the 14th December.
Is the two-story, none of this stuff exists already?
No,
New
all
construction.
proposed.
Okay.
All construction.
December 14th?
Yes.
Okay. What
That's
time?
great.
9:30.
That's great.
Okay, thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I was here for that.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know how that works. We come back to the file.
Who else here on
Could
that
you get
case?
that guy back, please?
Okay. Have all of you signed in on the case?
Yes.
Sir, these folks here are all here, are interested also in the case, and there's some of the people that you want to apparently maybe meet with, etc. So we. He has asked for the middle of December for the case to be heard so that he might address some of the issues that apparently he's come to know exist amongst the group. I have no way of knowing if he's aware of all of them or not, but the case will come before us instead on December 14th at 9:30. You won't get another notice, so if there's anyone else that you're aware of who couldn't be here today but would like to have been here today, let them know December 14th at 9:30. Would you be interested in getting contact information from these people if they wish to give it to you? So unfortunately we don't have a room here like we have in the other courtroom. If you guys want to step outside and exchange information to the extent that you're comfortable with it, and we'll be back here December 14th at 9:30. Okay? Come on.
Now I don't want to refer to the question. Correct? Okay, first we have case 65622 Baldwin, Steve Vines, renewal grant to maintain two-family dwelling, known as 1856 Browning Street. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat and state your name and address. There's a microphone.
Assassin Bonds, 1856 Browning Street.
So this is a renewal of a grant to maintain a two-family dwelling. Was there a condition on its issuance that it be owner occupied? Is it owner occupied in this one unit?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything else? So it does have a condition, the owner occupied, just so
Right,
you're
yeah,
aware.
yes, yes. Well,
But in fact, you're telling us that it is
yeah.
owner occupied. Okay. All right, are there any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed. When the board renders its decision, you receive a written notice.
In the minute. Thank you, Whit. You're done.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Next, we have case 65722, Bontoff, Peter A. and Laura J. Levenberg. Renewal of grants to contain pools and equipment is not permitted in the front yard setback of Oakfield Avenue and a 6-foot-high fence larger than the pool installation area, known as 1290 Chelsea Road.
Yeah. All right, well, since nobody has signed in on the matter, I will grant the appearance waiver to the applicant. Should I just second call? All right, let's second call.
No, no, go to the next one, and then finish.
Okay, that's it. Next, we have case 65822, Baldwin, Israel A. Roman, renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 2477 Park Avenue. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Isabel Roman, 2477 Park Avenue, Baldwin, New York.
Wait, that's our second call.
No.
Uh,
658, yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is a renewal of grant to maintain a two-family dwelling?
Yes,
Okay. Is it required to be owner occupied?
yes, I believe so.
And is it owner occupied? You live there? Yes. Okay. Is there anything else you wish to add? No. Okay. Building department inspected premises on 8/16/22 and found to be in compliance with all conditions imposed on the matter. Are there any questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed. The case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will receive.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
When the board renders its decision, you'll be notified.
Yeah, you're finished.
You're good to go.
Next, we have case 65922, Levittown News Associates LP. Renewal of grant to maintain one double-faced dash pylon sign, 204 square feet per face, overall size 408 square feet, overall height 25 feet 6 inches, clearance 5'3.5" to bottom of sign, setback 10 feet from Hempstead Turnpike, known as 3335 Hempstead Turnpike.
Name and answer.
Okay. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You say you do that, that's right.
Karen Siegel, with Russell Realty, 500 Old Country Road, Gardens City, New York.
Okay, and this is a renewal of grant to maintain one double-faced illuminated sign. The building department inspected the sign on August 11, 2022, and found it to be in compliance with all previously imposed conditions. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Okay, any other questions from the board?
Is there still a need for this sign? Because it used to advertise the movies that were playing in the theater, correct?
There were no movies theaters
No?
there.
I thought it was the sign that advertised.
There's no movie theaters. The center was built in the late 80s or the early 90s. There was never a movie theater.
Okay.
There was always a shopping center. Currently, there's an Ulta, a Walmart.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
It's a wrong
It's
one.
across from the Home
Understood.
Depot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board?
I move the hearing be closed and take its course on the decision calendar. And the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We have to actually switch to chair.
Okay, next we have case 660.2, Garden City East Stewart Avenue, Realty LLC. Renewal of grant to maintain one double-face illuminated detached ground sign setback 5 feet from Stewart Avenue, 3 feet from side property line, varies 7 feet from grade to bottom of sign, also known as 999 Stewart Avenue. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help God. I do this take a seat, state your name and address for the record.
Joel Brooks, 25 South Service Road, Jericho, New York.
Mr. Brooks, this is a renewal of a grant on a sign. I'm just looking at the report from the building department, which is dated August 17, 2022. It says wrong permit number. The one listed is for the 999 Stewart Avenue, Garden Cities, for dental offices. I don't know. We have an issue here? Should be dental office for 21. I think it's just an incorrect building permit number. Yeah, the number that this building permit number apparently is for dental office. I don't know where that is.
I don't understand how it is.
Well, I was just looking at the note here, so that's just an incorrect permit. So this is the second one. What's there? It's in the terminal.
I have a file from the beginning of this grant, and the number on the permit seems to be the same, so if you could let me know.
Yeah, everything I see here, including the history of the case going back to 2017, shows that same building permit number. So I'm not sure what happened here. It appears to be probably some internal confusion in this end. But in any event, the building inspector did inspect the premises and found them to be in compliance with the conditions that were previously issued by the board. I'm not sure if this is something we can resolve this moment. I think it's all here. It's everything matches here. So, Patrick, everything matches including the file, so it's got to be something really It's administrative, but the building inspector's report says that everything's okay. So is there anything else that you would like to add?
To only add that there's no dental office there as far as storage.
Not that you're aware of any.
Sign has been maintained since, I believe, 1998, and we've been in full compliance.
Okay.
I think over.
Do you have any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar, so you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision and return.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any extension? Thank you. We'll get it resolved. If there's any issues, we'll let you know. We're not sure if they're already.
Next, we have case 66122 through 66222, Franklin Square, Michelle Rodia Hiroshima. Maintain outdoor kitchen higher and larger than permitted, exceeding parts out the maximum. Special exception to maintain a second accessory structure, fire pit. Special exception to maintain a third accessory structure, pavilion, higher and larger than permitted and exceeding parts out the maximum from both sides, known as 459 Jefferson Street. Read your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat. State your name and address for the record.
Andrew Braun, B-R-A-U-N, 1924 Elmore Avenue, Elmore, New York, 11710.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Braun. I'm an engineer. I'm representing the applicant today. Variance to maintain the outdoor kitchen higher and larger than permitted, also exceeding the horizontal maximum. Special exception to maintain the second accessory structure of the fire pit, as well as A662, which is a special exception to maintain the third accessory structure, which is the pavilion, higher and larger than permitted and exceeding horizontal maximum on both sides. We were hired by the homeowner to obtain a permit for a swimming pool, and when I went to the backyard, I noticed all these other structures and advised the homeowner that they don't have permits for them. The homeowner hired a contractor at the time that told me they did not need permits for it and went ahead and built all these items. Since that time, they also put a hot tub in, which we obtained permits for, and we also did a permit for a maintain of a retaining wall that was in the front of the property there. So at this time, all of the structures on the property are listed, and we're here now for the variance approval for the items that I listed. The swimming pool was permitted, and they go through the final inspection processes for that, as well as the hot tub. But the items before you are what we are seeking variance for now. I do have letters of support from neighbors that I would like to submit. They're all
There's some evidence. Is the on the plan that we should be looking at, is that dated 4/14/21?
Yes.
No revisions, updates, since
Correct. That's one I have to try.
And that's what the board is to consider.
Yes.
Can you just for the record put the numbers as to the height, size, horizontal max on the kitchen and the pavilion?
So the pavilion, based on this drawing, is 1710 by 1390, and that's application 21-4806.
Right, what's the square footage on that?
Square footage.
Yeah, for the larger than you're about 144 when you propose it.
I have to do a little bit of math.
Should be on. Oh, here we go. I found it for the pavilion. The height is 11 feet 7 inches. You're allowed 9 feet. The outdoor kitchen countertop. Is the outdoor kitchen countertop part of the? Also, is there one of those in the pavilion too, or is that referring to the kitchen?
So the pavilion is on its own, too large in both length and width and height.
Correct.
And then the outdoor kitchen is only permitted to be fit within a 12 by 12 square box.
Right.
And it exceeds that.
Right. So let's just get the numbers because let's just start with the pavilion since we're on. You're allowed 144. What do you have?
245 and
245. Okay. And you're allowed a height of 9. What do you have?
We have 11'7".
Okay. And then what is the? Did you give us? You gave us the horizontals. That's 1710 and 1390, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now let's do the same thing for the outdoor kitchen because that's the other one you need all three of them on. The height. I can try to find it.
So the outdoor kitchen is listed in.
I don't know why you have height to So it looks like the outdoor kitchen countertop. Does it have a top on it?
It's 3'6" is the height.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't give rise to height variance. But you are here for one for that. Is there anything other than the countertop in the outdoor kitchen? Is there any height? Yeah, there is something about it. Barbecue pit.
I think that's a pizza oven that's just set on top.
Yeah, but even that wouldn't exceed 9 feet. I'm not clear on why you have a height variance on that. Well, let's go to the overall size. You need a larger and you need horizontal. So,
Mrs. D'Amato, perhaps it's just the generic term that we use, higher and larger than permitted. That's the way, it's all inclusive with the buildings department.
right, but I just need the record to reflect the square footage of the outdoor kitchen and the horizontal maximum. And whether you need it on one or both sides, I can't, the chart here doesn't really show it, that I can find.
So you're asking me what is the dimension
So
of
the outdoor kitchen was rejected by the building department on the basis that it's higher than allowable, so you're allowed 9 feet in height, and it exceeds that. I don't understand why it was rejected for that. It was also rejected as being larger than permitted, which means it exceeds 144 square feet, right? And it was also rejected for the horizontal maximum. I don't know if they rejected for that on one or both sides.
I believe it's the horizontal maximum because it's not more than 144 square feet.
When you were rejected for 3 things, it's common on accessory structures. The 3 things that are the criteria, besides the fact its setbacks and its location are the larger than allowable, which means it exceeds 144. Height, which means it exceeds 9 feet in height, and horizontal maximum, which means one or both sides exceed the 12-foot allowable. I just want to put the numbers on the record. So I don't understand why you're rejected for height of the kitchen personally, but
I don't see that either.
Okay.
It may be a generic term, as your other members of the board said. Maybe it's just they gave it as a generic, higher and larger. That's what the other gentleman
it
said.
doesn't work like that. I mean, I'm sorry. He now thinks it was a generic term that they just threw height and large in there, even though it doesn't need it. Yeah. He needs one. See, kitchen, higher, larger, needs more. He thinks they just threw his transitor. It's one to I don't think it needs higher, but, and now I moved on to larger, the square footage. He said it doesn't exceed the square footage.
It's a linear measurement, it's larger.
No, larger is the square
It's
footage.
approximately, if I was to draw a box around the irregular shape,
No.
it would be about 18 by 18 feet. 18 feet by 18 feet. Can I approach and show you on the picture?
Mr. Brown, while we're at it, I believe I heard you say that there's been a hot tub installed.
Yeah, that's there, and there's a
Where
permit
is it? I
for
don't
it.
see it there.
22-6050. May I just come up?
Sure.
The three-area communications, that's what I'm just trying to get the record. The building department, it's not just a package that they try to catch up. They actually need a kitchen, they need higher. Where is the device on that? And they would put all 3 in this thing. And I think it's wrong. From what I can see, that's a larger, we need the number that it.
So the larger, it goes from here, this dimension here, and this dimension here is approximately 18 feet, like 18 feet, like that.
But
It can't be bigger than 12.
I know that's what's on maximum, that's not larger. Larger is the square footage, feet, square feet. In other words,
This is
you
not
can get
more than
rejected.
144.
Well, the building department saying this. You can get rejected for 1 of the 3. Something's coming in, you need horizontal maximum on one side, where they only 6 square footage. So I just wanted to mention for that. I can't see height, but may or may not be larger, but I just need a big number so we know what we're dealing with.
Just going back on the record, apparently there's some things that need to be amended on the site plan and some questions about what exactly is being granted or being asked for. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjourn this until, how much time do you think you need?
Doesn't have to be the notice, correct?
No, it's just in a regular adjournment.
Whatever the next available.
That's next week, so I don't know if that's enough time. So let's go for the 16th.
16th?
Well, I'll give you the 16th or the 30th. You tell me.
16th.
So we're going to adjourn this to November 16th at 9:30 a.m. and you're going to submit a revised site plan and you're going to go up to the building department. Let's figure out exactly whether it's rejected for height or whether they just lump that all together into one definition.
And the larger one.
And higher and larger because you don't really see it.
Understand.
All right?
And maybe let the office know so we can go into it knowing if you're going to have, just call and let them know that you found out you don't need higher or larger. So we'll just remove it for the rest of the time, or we'll just have the number on the record so it can all be.
Okay, that was submitted for the site plan.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, very good. So that's adjourned November 16th, 9:30 a.m.
Next, we have case 6322, Montauk, Nicholas Office variance and occupied constructions, two-story, second-story additions, both attached to dwelling, 27 Pine Street. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, God? Yes. Let's take a seat. Good
morning, members of the board. Mr. Chair, my name is Mark Anthony Monastery. My office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore. And this morning, I am hearing from my client, Nicholas Abadis, who is the owner and occupant of the subject property.
All right, what can we do for you?
This morning, we're requesting a variance to construct a two-story and second-story addition that would put this home over its permitted lot coverage. My client's home is a colonial-style house on a lesser lot of only 5,000 square feet, built in the late 20s or early 30s. I would consider it a relatively small home at only 886 square feet on the first floor and 622 square feet on the second. Our proposed renovation and addition would include relocating the half bath to allow for a larger kitchen space on the first floor and a second-story bedroom, which would make this a three-bedroom home. Our request is to increase the permitted lot coverage from 27.5 to 31.3%, which is a 3.8% overage for 190 square feet. I would like to add that if this was a standard lot at 6,000 square feet, we would be under the permitted lot coverage and would not require this variance. That completes our application. I can answer any questions.
So in total, it's 3123, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I see that you're removing the deck and replacing the structure.
Yes, sir. Most of it is actually planning of the addition.
And you're aware of any objections from any of the neighbors?
No, sir.
All right, and that's your piece?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from the board?
You're Also recognize the fact that you have all these, and they're non-conforming, 6 items that need to be,
Yes.
8 items that need to be addressed.
We know about that point, otherwise there is no other departments out.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the hearing be closed and matter placed on the decision calendar, receive on story, be notified by mail, reports decision once approved.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Abstentions?
Next, we have case 66522, 66622, variance. Sarah and E. Hussein. Variances from lot area occupied in the side yard is aggregated, maintains a one-story addition attached dwelling. Variances from lot area occupied in side yard maintained with second-story deck with stairs attached to dwelling, known as 88 Beach Drive. Sir. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat, state your name and address for the record.
Tina Pagliaro, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Back to you, stand 4469 Linden May Drive, and email 1156.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. I'm representing Sarah and Taki Hassin of 88 Beach Drive in Merrick. The property is located on the west side of Beach Drive, 318.1 feet south of Bernard Street in Residence B. We're requesting a variance to maintain a one-story addition attached to the dwelling and a roofed over second-story deck with stairs attached to the dwelling. The one-story addition violates the lot coverage allowed of 27.5%. The lot coverage provided is 39.3%, which includes the deck and the stairs. Without the deck and the stairs, the lot coverage would be 31.3%. It also violates the side yard and side yard aggregates. The side yard required is 5 feet, and the side yard provided is 2 feet 7 inches. Side yard aggregate is 15 feet required, and the aggregate provided is 12 feet 1 inch. This addition is used as a shed for storage. There's no direct entrance into the house. We're also requesting a variance for a second-story deck with a roof over and stairs. The deck violates the side yard setback required of 5 feet. The side yard provided is 4 feet 6 inches. The maximum lot coverage allowed is 27.5%, and the total lot coverage provided is 39.3%. With the side addition, without the side addition, the lot coverage would be 35.7%. The Husseins purchased the house in 2013. At the time, the deck and the stairs, the roof over, the side addition were all existing. They were not aware of any issues with them. Looking back at pictures online from previous multiple listings, it appears the structure was showing in a 2006 listing. And on the search sheet, it also appears that in 2007, then there had been a complaint that was issued to the previous owner, because I see there's a certificate of approval for plumbing and gas to remove an illegal kitchen on the second floor. There was no second floor kitchen when they purchased the home, and there is not one there now. In 2006, they received a notice from the building department about a deck without a permit, a violation, and that's when he first learned that the deck was an issue. He hired an architect at that time who submitted plans, and we're going back and forth with the building department. In 2019, the architect told him he also needed to file for the side addition, and then COVID hit, things got delayed, and now we're here trying to get this squared away because Mr. Hassan is selling the home and needs to get this taken care of.
Selling or already sold?
You're in contract now, correct?
Ms. Pagliaro?
Yes.
The deck in the rear with the stairs, what is the required setback, rear yard setback? In a residence?
15 feet?
Residence B, second story?
Yes.
Story?
As far as I know, it was a yeah, second story deck, rear yard setback, 15 feet.
The second story is 15.
else that you would like to add?
No.
Do I have any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing before the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Danielle, you and your client will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail.
Thank you very much.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Next we have case 66722, 66E22, Oceanside. Michael Marciano. Variance side yard maintained deck attached dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure, shed, larger than permitted, exceeding the margin of the maximum variance, front yard, average setback, maintained cellar entrance attached dwelling, also known as 366 Fox Ridge Road. Swear affirm on the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Since you gave me that
Lisa Garcia with permits arrest, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm here representing Mr. Marciano, who wishes to maintain and legalize a wood deck attached to the dwelling, a shed, and a cellar entrance. This property is located in a residence need zone. The deck has a side yard setback of 4 feet, where the required is 5 feet. The vinyl shed has a horizontal length of 20 feet, where the required is 12 feet, and the overall square footage is 200 square feet, where the allowable is 144 square feet. The cellar entrance has a front yard setback of 12.5 feet, where the required is 25 feet. The deck and shed have been there for over 17 years, and the shed for about 3 years. All the items have been there without incident, and to my knowledge, there are no complaints on file. This home has been sold, and there is currently money in escrow. Mr. Marciano respectfully requests your approval.
Have you been inside the house?
No, I have not.
There's letters indicating that it's a basement is being utilized as an apartment. As long as everything else is with the dwelling is legal, to consider the number of families in the house that are the 3 families, and I'm not sure.
I know there's a basement.
What should we do now that we have this, and you have not been in the house? How should we make a ruling that it's not a 3-family or a 2-family or anything? What should we do to assist your client?
Okay. Well, obviously somebody from my office has been in the house before.
It's not obvious in that person's not, and it's not obvious in the person's not here to tell us.
Right, but also the basement, the finished basement is part of the application for the cellar entrance. So there has to be an inspection done. Because the reason why I'm here is for just the cellar entrance, not the finished basement. So when it gets inspected, I would assume that the inspector will see whether or not there's a kitchen or whatnot down there as well.
You want, Patrick, can you just let us, I'm going to let you take a look at these complaints about the basement. There's more than one. And about the use of the premises as something other than a single-family dwelling.
Want to comment on those emails that we have?
Well, I haven't been in the house personally. The emails from the neighbors, I wouldn't be able to comment on it. I do know that the house has been sold. And I do know that somebody from my office has gone in there to draw plans on it. I would assume that if it was a multiple deeds or multiple family dwelling, that
There's nobody here that can tell us one way or the other what actually is going on in the house. The only way that we're going to find out This is at the building inspector, and they will take a look. Here's the question I have for you, though. This says that as an attorney, because it's involved in transactions all the time, you have to say the house is already sold?
Yes.
And it's money held in escrow?
Yes.
What if we deny this case? I assume you don't know the terms of the escrow agreement, but that's something that everybody likes to do also. You know that we have an aversion towards basement entrances, especially when there's already allegations that it's being used illegally. So this really could turn into a nightmare for a lot of people, but we can't assume anything. So we're going to start at the beginning and make sure before we make a decision that there is no illegal use of that basement. Are the new buyers living in the house already?
I believe so, yes.
So somebody needs to flag them down and let them know that somebody from the building departments can come in and do an inspection. All right?
So you want to finish getting the testimony and the things to shed in the deck?
I do have information, but if you want to repeat.
No, is there anything else you'd like to
It might also be in all of our best interest to have whomever you think from your office went and inspected the basement to submit an affidavit that there was only one kitchen and no plumbing, etc. in the basement.
And also, just for the sake of mentioning, it might not be a bad idea in cases like this. I'm looking at the dates of these emails, and the most recent one is October 13th. So these have been in a file now for at least a couple of weeks. It might not be a bad idea to take a look and see if there's any emails in here or correspondence on that. If these issues are raised in the future, or at least somebody can come back and testify as to what actually was done. All right?
This gentleman wants to speak also.
Well, you didn't sign that, so I have no idea who you are. First, we need to sign the sheet, which is up here.
When did you visit the house?
When we first took on the job, so when we first filed it, let's look back at the record, that would say probably a year since we were waiting for a hearing date. I was having been there since, but we have no objection, obviously, if the code wants to go there and do an inspection, it's fine.
All right. You're a contractor, correct?
No, I own permit to us.
Okay.
All right.
No.
Is there anything else that you would like to say?
No, I just wanted to address the comment that he wants something from the office that was in the basement. I was there.
Can you stand that up a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there only one kitchen in the house?
There's one kitchen in the home.
When you inspected it?
Correct, one kitchen.
One kitchen.
And you went to the second one?
I've been, yeah, well, part of
You seem to indicate maybe all three levels are being used individually.
No, part of the permit, although we're here for the cellar entrance, obviously finished basement is a dormer as well, which was part of the permit as well. But no, it's only one kitchen in the home.
And because you went upstairs?
I've been everywhere. Yes.
What plumbing facilities, et cetera, are in the basement?
I look at the plans. I
Full
believe there's a
bath.
bathroom in the basement, but there's no, correct, and then there's obviously the bathroom's right to the house upstairs. Other than that, there's nothing else. One kitchen, that's all I'm concerned with in the house.
Did you draw the plans?
Plans done by Kurt Jacobs.
Pardon me?
Kurt Jacobs.
So you visited, did Kurt visit when he did the plan?
Yeah, well, I'm sure Kurt was there, the draftsman was there. I wasn't out because I would expect to be home before we take on the job. So.
I just want to make sure that whoever drew the plans was the same person who actually was in the house.
Yeah, well, I was physically in the house because the job was signed up by me. I worked through every job that's ever taken on. So.
All right, do I have any other questions from the board?
Will the hearing be closed and matter placed on the decision calendar? Mr. Katia will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's ready.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Next, we have case 66922, 11 Devon, Stephen and Jennifer. Variance from front yard average setback construct addition attached dwelling, runs 8 Gun Lane. You swear or affirm that the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please take a seat, state your name and address.
Ken Bennett, 1257 Newell Road, East Shore, New York, 11706.
Morning.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. Here today on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Robbins, property owners of the Gun Lane. Property is located in LPRD zone. Basically what we're here for today is average front setback request. We are proposing a small one-story addition to enlarge the kitchen. It's a very tiny kitchen and create a little living area. The proposed addition is approximately 5 foot by 14 foot, located on the southeast side of the property. So basically we are seeking relief for 27.79 feet versus an average front yard setback of 33.3.
The proposed setback on the plan showed 28.9 feet.
Yes, this is from it's like a radius, it's a corner, so the proposed, it's the second front yard is 27.79.
But if it's a corner, you don't use average, you use 25.
We actually went back and forth with the reviewer regarding that, but he is treating this not as if it's a corner lot. I didn't want to bring that up and confuse you guys.
It's a corner lot.
It's the only variance, it's a corner lot.
And you propose 28 feet, not greater than the 25.
Yes.
You're aware that there was open building permits? 2009, kitchen extension.
Actually, I was under the impression everything had been closed up.
This is about a 10-month-old search sheet, but it shows an open building permit for 2009 with a 2004 permit number. It says maintain kitchen extension. It's got a red check mark next to it, but it doesn't tell me what the red check mark is. And also that there's a 2021 permit for replacement of the oil permits. So whenever you do, these have to be closed.
100%. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No.
Yes, it's closed. Thank you. All right, do I have any other questions from the board?
Will the hearing be closed and matter placed on the decision calendar? Extension and notified by mail for the decision.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Next, we have case 6722 West Hempstead and Brick Singh. Variances in subdivision of lot front width from and upon street line to front yard, front setback line, side yards aggregate, construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling, attached garage. East side of Jennings Avenue, 120 feet south of Wadley Avenue. We also have case 671-22 West Hempstead and Brick Singh. Variances in subdivision of lot front width from and on street line to front setback line. Side yards aggregate, construct one with garage, east side, Jennings Avenue, 160 feet south of Wadley Avenue. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Please take seats. Your name and address.
morning, Chairman members, Christian Reynolds, from Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, New York City, appearing for the applicant.
Good morning, Harry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmont, New York, 11719.
Morning, what can I do for you?
All right, good morning. This is a subdivision application concerning property known as 635 Jennings Avenue in the West Hempstead Lakeview section of the town. The board is familiar with this area. There's been a number of applications brought before the board over the years. In this neighborhood, this property is proximate to the Lakeview Stables, which came before this board a number of years ago and expanded and so forth. Mr. Pellegrini remembers, yes.
You as well.
We were actually in this courtroom on that.
Is that right? Mr. Combs,
No, we didn't.
Mr. Combs, there were a few applications.
Yeah, it was a recent one.
So that's where it's situated. The property is currently, it's 80 by 200 deep parcel with a very small sort of cottage house on it. And that house, while it's not in terrible condition, is a very limited utility because, as you can see from the photographs, it's a very small house. It's just a small, I guess, story and a half with a one-story house with a small garage on the property. So the proposal before you is to subdivide into two equally sized lots, equal-sized lots. Both would have 8,000 square feet of lot area, so quite a bit in excess of the 6,000 square foot minimum. The variance associated with the lots themselves is for frontage only. We're proposing 40 feet of frontage for each lot, where 55 is required, and then we will build two identical two-story single-family homes with basements, unfinished basements, 4 bedrooms on each lot. The homes themselves are entirely zoning compliant, but for the side yard aggregate. Each home proposes to would meet within those side yards of 8 and 6, so it would be off on the aggregate by just over a foot and a half. So it's identical for each one. Each one is short a foot and a half on the 15-foot aggregate. Otherwise, they're fully zoning compliant for all of the other yard requirements. As I mentioned, they would each be 4-bedroom homes with an unfinished basement area. So I think if you look at the floor plan, you'll see that there's nothing out of the ordinary here. No attempt at basement entrances or any of the other sort of occupancy issues that the board is customarily concerned about on subdivisions.
This is currently one house in zoning too. It's not being used in conjunction with the equestrian.
No, it's just here, and I pointed it out only because to the south of the subject property, you see there's sort of a 15-foot vacant lot that runs back to the stable property. So I guess it was laid out as sort of an access way into the stable property many years ago. So there's nothing directly to the south, or there's a buffer, I should say, between properties to the south from the subject property because of that access way.
And that's owned by the equestrian?
That I believe is part of the equestrian section property. I won't steal Mr. Nelson's thunder because really the main issue before the board on the subdivision or on this application entirely is the 40 feet of frontage. Suffice it to say this is a mixed area. There are other 40-foot lots, including on Jennings Avenue, on Wadley Avenue to the north, on Eagle Avenue to the south, and across the street, which Mr. Nelson will detail for you. And there are other non-conforming substandard lots, quite a few in the area where you have 50-foot of frontage. So overall, the 40 feet of frontage wouldn't be out of character for the area. It's the only variance associated with the lot, the proposed lots. The lots otherwise will remain oversized. They each have a substantial backyard of probably about 100 feet deep each. Plenty of room in the front, so they're well set back. Plenty of room to park 2 cars in the driveway next to each other. plus a garage on each lot for additional storage, so they can accommodate, cars that will be customarily associated with houses of this size. They fit well on the lots. The side yards are compliant. They're just slightly off in the aggregate. So overall, we feel benefits to the applicant in replacing a house of very limited utility with these two new single-family homes. Clearly outweighs any detriment to the area. As Mr. Nelson will detail, not only does it fit within the character of the area, but it will be a benefit to the area in terms of property values and the other benefits associated with new development of this kind. So that's really the overview, and unless you have questions, I'll let Mr. Nelson give his testimony.
Mr. Nelson, your name and address is on the record?
Yes, sir.
All right, since the last time we qualified you as an expert on real estate and real estate valuation, have there been any changes in your credentials?
No, sir.
All right, we're going to continue the qualification of an expert. You are free to testify. We've accepted in evidence your with the photos, your aerials, your comps, and I think that's it. Oh, and the package of previously granted variances.
Thank you.
They hit them all?
We hit them all.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Council's gone over the application substantially. The property known as 635 Jennings Avenue, known as Section 35, Block 425, includes tax lots 19, 204 through 207 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Maps. Properties on the eastern side of Jennings Avenue, north of Eagle Avenue, predominantly residential in nature, except for, as the council mentioned, Lakewood Ranch Estates, which is a substantial improvement in the area, or Staples or Riding Academy, and training for horses at that location, which is in the subject block. Council mentioned it does have a 15-foot access way, which is not utilized from Jennings Avenue immediately south of subject property. Primarily, that property focuses onto Eagle Avenue. The purpose of the application would be the subdivision of this 80 by 200, 16,000 square foot parcel into two parcels, 40 by 200, 8,000 square feet in lot area. Two new colonials are proposed. The front yard, rear yard setback, in fact, the front yard setback, the average setback on the easterly side of Jennings Avenue is 18.8. Those homes are proposed at 43 plus feet from Jennings Avenue. The makeup of the area consists of approximately 33 parcels within the 200-foot radius as defined by the neighborhood on the radius map of the property. 9 40 by 100. Those 40 by 100 would be inclusive in the subject block. The first two houses to the south of the subject property are each 40 by 100, improved with colonial style dwellings. There's two additional 40 by 100, 40 by 200 on the north side of Eagle Avenue, known as 613 and 617 Eagle Avenue. There are just almost opposite the subject property on the south side of Grant Avenue, 240 by 100 and 140 by 100 on the northerly side. Same with the north side of Eagle Avenue, west of Jennings Avenue. So you got 9 and a 40 by 100, 9 with 40-foot frontages, and now you have 13 50-foot frontages that are inclusive in the subject block on the south side of Waterlake Avenue and on the adjacent streets of Grant Avenue and Eagle Avenue. So, breakdown, 22 out of 33, 67% in the 200-foot radius, and within the 100-foot radius, you got 11 out of 14, 79%. So substantially, the area, any of these parcels that were to be redeveloped or developed today would require similar variances front width at the street line to the front setback line. As council mentioned, there is a small bump out on the southerly side of each house that encroaches into the aggregate side yards. And you will note that those are proposed, the first house on the northerly side of the subdivision would be adjacent to the proposed new house, and the southerly side of the second house to the south would be adjacent to the 15-foot strip of land to the Lakewood Branch Estates. It's my opinion that the proposed subdivision, as proposed, is in keeping with the pattern of development character of the neighborhood. 2 new one-family colonials would be consistent with the upgraded and renovated homes to the south on the 40 by 100. It's not going to depreciate or alter the essential character of the neighborhood. All municipal services are available to the site, including fire hydrants on Jennings Avenue and Grant Avenue in proximity to the subject property, improved roadway, concrete sidewalks, and curbs. Benefit to the applicant, in my opinion, is monetary and it is substantial. A breakdown of values in the area. Single-family homes are selling anywhere from $400,000 to $850,000 on the larger houses in the area on the oversized properties. The proposed homes each as the company before the board colonials, oversized 8,000 square foot lot, would sell each for approximately $785,000. The breakdown would be whether you maintain the existing house at its current situation, which is about 800 square feet, 1 story with a detached garage. That would be worth approximately $450,000. A single building lot is worth approximately $300,000. A building lot as proposed would be worth approximately $250,000 each. The cost to construct and improve site improvements for each new house would be about $400,000. So the benefit to the applicant would be the gross profits of approximately $125,000 to $135,000 on each house for an aggregate of approximately $270,000 gross without any detriment to the surrounding community. Again, if you look at the radius map, the adjacent properties are 40 by 100 to the south, there's a 60 by 100 to the north, and another 60 by 100 to and as you go along Waterley Avenue, other than to the corner, they all have 50-foot frontages with the second, third, fourth going on slightly oversized in depth. In my opinion, there'd be no adverse conditions, quality of life issues to the adjacent property owners or the homes within the area. Thank you.
Mr. Graham, what about on the occupant?
Let me just check. Yes, we would consent to owner occupied on sale.
All right, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I think you covered the case. Basically, we would take there's an 800 square foot house on a 16,000 square foot parcel, put it to a higher and better use without burdening the neighborhood or doing anything out of character, and we would accept the condition that the chairman suggested.
Any other questions from the board?
The hearing is closed and that will be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Brown, Mr. Nelson, and Mr. Nelson, will be exposed to the copy of this decision by mail once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any opposed, any abstentions?
Next, we have case 67422, West Hempstead. Marvin E. Via and Karen Williams. A special exception to maintain accessory structure, attached deck, exceeding horizontal maximum both sides lot area occupied variance. So known as the P08 Maria Drive. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, to help you God. Please take a seat, so you can manage your friend.
Joel Berry, 39 Morris Avenue, Patrick Leo.
All right, what can we do for you?
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board, and thank you for listening to our case. As I mentioned, my name is Joel Berry. I'm here representing Karen Williams in regards to her property at 808 Green Drive, West Hempstead. My client has come before the board today in order to request an area variance for a deck and a hot tub, which have been existing for a number of years.
Are you an architect? Are you an expert out here?
I work for the architect to start, and we have an affidavit filed.
Okay.
So the hot tub is 9 foot 4 inches away from the rear property line, where 15 feet is required, and the lot coverage is 30%, where a maximum of 26.5 is permitted. Ms. Williams, deceased husband, built this area for a hot tub as a therapy.
Wait, can I just ask you something? Am I missing this? The request that's on my calendar is a special exception to maintain an accessory structure, parentheses, detached deck, exceeding the horizontal maximum on both sides, and needing a wire occupied variance.
Within that deck is a hot tub.
Okay, but you're not here to legalize the hot tub, just the deck around, or is that a mistake?
Well, I think the entire, it's all one structure. There's a hot tub.
Okay, because it needed fine, but we're just not considering the hot tub. I don't know what's wrong today, it's very challenging.
Excuse me?
The only case that's before us is for the deck. The hot tub does not extend beyond it. The hot tub couldn't actually be part of the actual permit, correct?
Yes. We are going to
Does not need a separate permit for a hot tub.
Well, you might need a permit, but you don't need
a permit, but I don't
license.
think we need different variances.
Okay.
Correct, okay. I want to be clear, because sometimes people come like that, or, they don't even deal with getting a variance, they might need.
I don't want to create any confusion. Yeah, within the confines of the deck is a hot tub. I noticed that in the description it doesn't mention the word hot tub.
Correct.
But it is within the extent of the deck.
So you just need 2 variances then for the deck. You need a special exception. You need a special exception, I guess you need 3. You need a horizontal maximum on both sides, so give us those numbers. And you need ladder occupied, so give us that example.
I was just going to say that the situation here, I never like to come and ask for forgiveness. I always like to ask for permission. In this case, Ms. Williams moved into her husband's house in 2010. He was the owner of the house. He bought the house in 2009, did the work in 2010, and he didn't realize that he needed a permit. And since then, over the last 2 years, they've been working with us to legalize the structures, and the gentleman actually passed away during this process, and now his wife is just we take care of it all and sell it.
Right, so you need horizontal maximum on both sides. So on one side, you propose 16 where 12 is allowable. On the other side, you propose 15.75 where 12 is allowable. Ladder occupied, your residence B zone, I take it, so 27.5 is allowable. You propose 31%.
And I don't think that it's been there for 12 years. She got a couple of phone calls from the neighbors, and they said, well, what are you doing here? And she said, well, I'm just trying to legalize. And they said, you know, you have a hot back there. All these years that were friends, and so anyway. They were all...
It's sort of odd because it's a little deck in the middle of the backyard and a hot tub right in the middle of it. So, all right, but is there anything else that you would like to add?
Just to thank you guys for your time today.
Okay, do you have any other questions from the board?
Hearing because the matter placed in the decision calendar for it to be notified by mail before its decision when it's ready. Thank you.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Before we go to the next case, we have stuff a couple more. We're going to take a short break. So we'll take 15 minutes. We'll be back. We'll be ready to go and finish it out.
step is transfer property, the show, water, and show them, fridge. By the time it comes, I'll be long. Yeah, I don't think so. The attorney that I spoke to on this, it seems like a couple of during the case, the attorney did. Yeah. So the attorney took them to figure this stuff out. We called them, contacted them, number of judges. I did one more jury last time on to figure out your stuff. It's a lack of prosecution.
Did we do that already, or did we appeal?
They already appeared last time. So they appeared last time, I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Right.
And so we gave them the Germans to figure it out. It's exactly. We gave them the Germans to figure out what you're doing. They haven't figured out what they're doing. Or as far as I know, except they haven't signed it. So maybe they'll show up. It is 11 now, so maybe they'll show up and they'll have a better answer. But my recommendation would be to either adjourn final time on, if they don't do anything with this with the prosecution, or you can just do it now, and they can file a year.
I think it.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. 9:30. Yes, I agree. We think we're going to adjourn.
I would order. I adjourn it in order to appear.
Yeah, let's give them a little. Oh, yeah, okay. One more about the apple.
So.
It's not fine.
You don't have to tell me all about it. What documents that?
Door trouble.
I'm ahead of it.
Yeah, you better get that guy out.
It's gonna go down again.
Sad.
Yeah.
You want the bucket?
Yeah, that would be nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I think we're kind of there. But hurry up. We can cool. Who's here? Who's the short guy? This is a chill that we always need to lose. Oh, it's No. Did you see the maximum? No, so I had my chair. My old office had a chair. It was funny because it took me a minute to get used to it. Anytime you take this chair, so we would just go every single time. So he'd be sitting there, all of a sudden he's on the floor. It happens to my clients at home. So it's a button on the side. There's stuff like that. Yeah. One time it was just telling her when I was on stage. She didn't know what happened.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you stuck. Nope.
It is slowly, yes, when you choose to be in that position. Okay, how are you?
I said, Ryan, I said, watch you know what I'm doing. How you're mastering this.
Well, thank you.
Years
of being beaten up.
This one? Whole time. You started.
December is when I started full time. So it's 2 years.
in June or May.
I was part-time. Yeah,
said, I had my first summer with down. I left earlier than everybody else. I said, well, in Texas. Yes, oh yeah, sure, no problem. You're not in? That's a special please look up. Also, the round structure was the sound.
Yeah, I think
a lot of
that's part
times
of
in
it.
courts, they put the round structure and where age you kind of you want to see that right next door.
do some great coloring techniques. Do you? Yeah, that's just what you do to them. Right, so they can see it. That's exactly what I was trying to do. So let's photographs. House. This is the house. These are the proposed plans. This is the actual house. I have 5 weeks. Everything else is there. So this is model. That's one. Yeah. Oh, okay. I just brought you just there's no changes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that if they had issues taking a look at it, that they would have a paper copy. Thanks, Tom. Yeah. I think I'm next. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. You don't need the evidence. Yeah. This is my client. I don't shop her, right? It's Joe Fix.
You're good, you know.
Let's hope we will be one of the problem. Think about it. Yeah, so I was going to say, by the time we look. Oh, no, it's okay. 'Cause
We're going to do that. Coffee.
That's the other evidence. I was really thinking that they were going to just look at my things so that they can actually read footage. Probably like she was going to tell her story and we're going to leave it for 5 hours. Jesus. It's also the building with the time opposite, and then that's the same thing with these two.
That's a detail.
These are the same, right?
Yeah, I just need 2 copies. You can put the circle towards the bottom area. So it doesn't kill the evidence. I'm not for the research in your office, nonetheless. It's not easy.
Come on, we're all friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's it? Not really?
I don't need to, yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't need multiple.
Well, I don't want to use uptown stuff that's not required to be used. We might need to bring up from someone else's case.
So you want the black place.
So I wanted to give this to the board as they come in, just so they, whatever. Do you feel better on the one line? My preference on the line.
It seems like people would do it.
Do you think better? Do you have better luck on the left or the right?
On to the next. One thing I've learned what to do well is good to last.
Oh, yeah. That's what happened when I lost the grill out over that shed. Well, I still got the conditions. They just didn't allow it to be in that front part area. Just look up shed. She's still very happy. It's being built. It's a beautiful house. It's a beautiful design. Who's design? David Bush. Beach Road.
Who did the house at the end?
Oh, the one over the it looked very similar. The wood exterior. That house literally makes no sense. There's a courtyard in the middle of the house.
It makes sense for
Did anyone actually buy it?
rented the option to buy.
Didn't know they were for that.
It's not a course.
Still more comfortable.
I understand. Speaking of Florida, because of the evidence, communities.
I heard that through that.
I thought I did too.
Somebody.
Mine was never flashes. It was like burning up on the inside and cold on the inside skin. You know what I mean? In my hand.
I was trying where they are, they're probably located in some nice.
Yeah, big do one.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
It was cool.
Next, we have case 630.2, Point Lookout, Corey Ann, Dagnowski, and Edward Rings. Variances, height exceeds the number of stories, lot area occupied, front yard average setbacks, side yard, rear yard, construct a three-story dwelling, demolish existing dwelling, known as 64 Mineola Avenue. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and swear.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Michelle Cosolino. Address is 1119 Roosevelt Way, Westbury, New York, 11590. I am the agent for Mr. Rines and Mrs. Borowski, owners of the subject property at 64 Mineola Avenue, Point Lookout.
Thank you and good morning. My name is Edward Rines. I'm a property owner and my address is 64 Mineola Avenue.
I'd like to submit to the board a few items prior to the beginning. I just wanted to clarify certain stipulations that might be a little bit confusing. So if I can submit in this surveys.
We'll accept what you're about to submit as long as you tell us what it is.
Sure. It's a section, a side section of the house that states all the elevations and actual footage and heights. So it's clear to the board. I also wanted to submit in the original property survey of the premises along with the proposed and along with the existing survey. Also wanted to submit in photographs of the existing house as is and photographs of the existing block of where the house is located. The proposed dwelling as designed will be FEMA compliant. There will be 5 on-site parking spaces provided on the north side of the property. The existing dwelling will be demolished. The front yard setback to the existing dwelling is going to be 13.93. The proposed front yard setback will remain close to the existing with a 13.83 feet. The required front yard setback, the average is 14 feet. 14.9 feet. The existing side yard setback is 3.34 feet. The proposed side yard setback is 3.4 feet. The required side yard setback is 8 feet based on an 80-foot wide lot. The required side yard aggregate is 24 feet, and the proposed side yard aggregate will be at 47 feet. Please note that there's a 40-inch in diameter sycamore tree that's located just north of the property, which is one of the oldest trees in Point Lookout that the owners are looking to preserve. The existing rear yard setback to the dwelling is 15.74 feet and 0 feet to the existing wood deck. The proposed rear yard setback is 11.32 feet to the dwelling and 5 foot to the deck. The required rear yard setback is based on a 75 foot in depth lot, which comes out to 18.75 feet. Mr. Miley, do you have any questions?
No, keep going. Thank you.
The property behind the subject property is the town of Hempstead property. The area consists of natural vegetations, jetties, and beachfronts. The existing dwelling built under building permit number 20659 back in 1939 had a lot size of 40 by 75, which led the lot coverage to be 42.2%. No variances were required at that time. The proposed lot coverage on an 80 by 75 lot is 36.5%. The required coverage now in the residence zone is 27.5%. The proposed lot coverage is less than the majority of the structures in Point Lookout, which are typically greater than 40%. The proposed dwelling will exceed the number of stories and heights, which is 2 stories with a maximum height of 30 feet above the design flood elevation. The proposed FEMA compliant dwelling, first floor, is 13.31 feet in an AE9 flood zone. The DFE would need to begin at a minimum of elevation 11. The third floor and roof decks are proposed towards the rear of the property, which abuts the town property. The proposed ridge height to the third story is 36 feet above the flood elevation. The top of the railings to the main deck are going to be at 28.75 feet above the DFE, and the top railing to the smaller section of deck will be 3 risers above, making it 30.75 feet above the DFE. The maximum height allowed is 30 feet above design flood elevation. The third floor will be used for access to the roof deck, mechanical room and equipment area, a powder room and storage, with a full total of 591 square feet. The open area will be a space to be utilized just for storage of roof deck furniture during the winter months and during the inclement weathers. I would like to submit to the board additional evidence. There are 2 lists. The lists have addresses, building permit numbers of stories, BZA cases, and heights previously approved by the board. The first list consists of the dwellings in Point Lookout, approved 3 stories with heights ranging from 3.5 to 5.8 feet above the 30-foot allowable height. The second list consists of homes in Point Lookout approved for 3+ stories with heights between 6 foot and 9 foot above the 30-foot maximum. The proposed dwelling will be in similar kind of nature or architectural design. It will be FEMA compliant. The owners are proposing to maintain an area of the property just north of the house to be keeping the American sycamore tree, one of the oldest trees in town, replanting grass, native landscape, and provide a natural feeling environment to attract native birds and species back to Point Lookout. The owners have no intention to subdivide the property. The proposed construction is in character and in nature with the surrounding community and original neighboring properties. Any questions from the board?
When you're referring to on the listing you just gave us of the 3-story dwellings,
yes,
are we referring to them as what we usually refer to as FEMA 3s, where the first floor is not usable?
Some are and some are not. Some are with the garage, if that's what you were trying to say. Some have garages and some don't. So they are starting at the design flood elevation.
All right, but you're starting here at your design flood elevation. So you're starting at elevation 11. Your first floor is at 13.
Correct.
All right, continue.
My name is Edward Reines, and 64 Medial Avenue. Thank you very much for your time, Chairman Weiss and members. We very much appreciate your story us to the calendar. I know you have a busy calendar, so adding us back so quickly is appreciated. We have to renotice, and I thank you for that. I just want to briefly describe the approach that we took to the house to try and stay the character of the community and to be mindful of the neighbors. We did 4 basic steps. One is we wanted to be FEMA compliant, and we wanted to be above the flood zone for obvious reasons. The second thing we wanted to do is stay in footprint and leave the lot open next to us with the tree, because the number of people that came to us and requested that we do that was large. The second thing we did, and this I think is responsive to Chairman Weiss's question, is we did not want to have the garage on the first floor and have that big box. Our neighbors gave us feedback. They don't like that approach. What we wanted to have is a steep street level entry, which would be in character with the neighborhood. So we could have gone up higher using that approach, but we chose not to for that purpose. We took architectural features from the neighborhood, including the peaks, the double peaked particular houses, and tried to stay exactly in the character of the neighborhood in that regard. And again, we want to avoid the big box concept. And as you see, for example, the third floor structure is back. I don't even think you can see it from the street. It's not the front half of the structure. And then the final point on the height, which is obviously something that you're considering looking at, was we wanted to make sure that we were within what had been previously granted in the neighborhood, was in the vicinity. I think the visual evidence from the photograph shows you that, and the approvals and the list that we have. And, I think that's why we didn't receive any objections to this, because we work with the community to be in character. So thank you for listening to my additional layperson contributions here.
The photo or whatever, the rendering that you submitted to us just now, this one?
Yep.
This is a side view of the house, correct?
Correct.
So if you're looking at the house from the front, you still have a third floor that extends the entire width of the house, does it not?
It does not.
Does not. So looking at
Can I
this,
coach?
I'm looking at A106, front west elevation.
Okay.
I see in it a structure that extends the entire width of the house. That is
Means the ridge
the
height.
ridge height, which is
At the front.
right.
Correct, yes.
So
I'm
you
sorry.
still see that entire ridge from the front.
Yes.
And or the rear, but the rear is defined.
What Mr. Reines was trying to say is that he wanted to keep the front look not noticeable of what was going on at the back end of the house, meaning that the deck in the back would be private, it would not have anyone, no one from the street line would be able to view this third story deck or this.
Not the deck. Well, again, I'm looking at this right here.
Yep.
I see a ridge that runs the entire width of the house. Is that going to be visible from the street? And
Yes.
from this angle, it looks to me as if it is an entire new, complete third story, even though it doesn't extend the entire size of the second floor.
Yes.
It is reduced in size. It still is a third floor.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, the only subtlety that I would add to that is it is set back, which I do think is important because then it doesn't have a big front on the street, which is what people have suggested they do. So by setting it back, I think we stay in character and are consistent with the prior grants.
Okay, what else would you like to?
I'd also like to submit only 2 consent letters that I was able to obtain. It seemed like a lot of people were actually away, and I could not get a hold of them.
Okay, we'll second.
But we received no objections from the neighboring properties. As far as I'm aware, I've knocked on everyone's doors, tried to get anyone's word or input, and received nothing.
And they were noticed twice.
And the change in the rear yard setback requested, is that entirely decking or partially decking, partially?
Partially decking.
And partially.
Yep.
And on the front yard average, that's the change proposed of about 6.5, I think. That is mostly the masonry porch.
I'm sorry, Ms. Martin, can you just repeat that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my voice doesn't carry. The change in the front yard is currently at, it's currently at
13.83 feet.
Hold on. Two different numbers. Oh, yes, 13.83, and it's proposed at 7.33. I see on the site plan that there's a masonry porch on the front. And then there are the stairs going down. Are the portion of the stairs are all of them permitted encroachment?
Those are all permitted encroachments, so to the house, what's existing is 13.83. What we're proposing is, what is existing is 13.93. What is proposed is 13.83 feet. So the front yard
proposed is 7.33. It says on the site plan.
Okay.
And I'm just asking,
the encroachment for the stairs is...
Well, the stairs is permitted encroachment.
Yep.
So now, to get to the 7, I'm just asking if the portion that is not permitted encroachment, that is changing the front yard from 13 and change to 7 and change.
Right.
Is that predominantly all the masonry porch?
It's the masonry porch.
Okay, is that, and so the front line of the house proposed is that where it was on the footprint before?
Yes.
Anything else that you would like to add?
That concludes my piece.
All right.
No, I thank you very much for your consideration and again for expediting this with putting back.
Was the third person who signed in on the case, was that?
Yeah, I'm the builder.
Bill, okay. You don't want to say anything?
No. Okay, if necessary.
Okay, do we have any other questions from the board?
Excuse me, on the front, you have a third-story balcony?
No, not on the front, I'm sorry.
That's the side.
You can't.
That is the side section, not the front. There's no balcony in the front.
Okay, well, we have here, it says third-story balcony.
Can I, do you want to
Sure.
go over?
This is in front of the house, right?
Correct.
It says third-story balcony.
So it doesn't know discussing this, but that is not the third story.
It's actually, I think it says second story. It's
Okay,
a
second
small
story, yes,
story.
not a third story, because that would be the roof line. Sorry.
Oh, I see, okay.
So this is the second story right here. So above it, there'll be nothing but roof.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good.
Here's the balcony.
Any other questions from the board?
Returning to close the matter be placed on the decision calendar, discuss later, giving your client and everyone else who signed in on the case will receive a copy of your decision by now. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, we have some more 11 o'clock and one second floor. Oh, you're wrong.
Case 55422 West Hempstead, Michael Simpson, Angelique Ortiz, Patrice Duran, John Velez, renewal of grant containing two-family dwelling known as 547
This has been adjourned twice. We sent a demand, wanted to appear on this?
This was the case where they've come in twice and they've already sold the house.
Oh, the new owners need to figure out.
Need to do everything, and they have not contacted us.
No, it was apparently no demand letter for them to appeal for that.
Because they were up here. They were up here.
They were here.
So they didn't meet the demand for today, but I do believe it might be in the cards for
Yeah,
new owners.
there was a woman that appeared, yes.
Correct, it was the new owner.
I was recommending
Original.
Oh, sorry, it's the original owner of that.
The old owner was the one
Yes,
that was here, but I remember, and they're not sure why they are here.
And in my conversation with their counsel, she basically said, I'm not handling this, talk to the new owner. So,
Not our job.
yeah.
Right.
Well, wait. Then would it make sense to send the building department out to give the new owners something so that they realize they have to come in and resolve this?
What we can do is ask for a notice of appeal to appear, and we can also be directed to contact the building department to send someone out there.
Because if the new owners were here, they're living in a house that doesn't have, it's not legally existing because it never got renewed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it wasn't renewed prior to that either. It wasn't renewed under, I think, from memory serves, I think the last renewal was in 2001.
Put this on the referral calendar, just so the building's marked down to do enforcement. Because this is expired.
That's what I'm
yes, it has.
Yeah, so if we put this on our referral calendar, just hold it, send the building department out. This has expired, it's in violation. Let the building department issue a violation.
And then they'll come in.
Then we'll get it back.
Yep.
Procedurally, if we do that, the building department, let's say they're not going to let them in, which they probably won't. They don't have to. Right. It's going to sit.
Like, we don't even have to go in to find out if it's.
But for the purposes of the referral calendar, we can just restore it much more quickly than if we dismiss it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
But the thing is, even if they don't let the building department in, we can still, it's still illegally existing because it's not renewed.
The building department issues violation based upon the fact that it's suspicion for use as a two-family dwelling where the permit's expired.
Right.
So that they can do because it had a two-family permit. So let's let the building department, we'll put this on our referral calendar. Hold it in abeyance and let's just notify the building department. Do whatever they need to do on this. All right, and then we're back to the second case, 657. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
We're going to call in case 657, 22, Wantagh, Peter A. and Laura J. Hippenberg, dual grant to maintain pool and equipment not permitted in front yard setback on Oakfield Avenue, and 6-foot-high fence larger than the pool installation area, known as 1290 Chelsea Road.
All right, nobody's appeared in favor of this, but nobody's appeared in opposition either, so we're going to grant the appearance waiver. It was inspected by the building department on August 11 of 2022. In fact, to be in compliance with all the conditions previously issued by the board. Do I have any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the hearing be closed and the matter be placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified by mail of the board's decision when necessary.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, that concludes our hearing calendar for today. Let's take an infinitely short break and then we'll come back and do decisions and reserve and whatever else we need to do. In case that we adjourn, so that way I know that before those dates. Okay, guys, are we ready? Decision calendar. First case, I was not here. 656 of 22 Baldwin, Stephen E. Vines, 1856 Browning Street, Baldwin. Any discussion? Not to have a motion.
I move the case 65622 Baldwin be granted as requested with all appropriate restrictions.
Same conditions, 5 years. I am out of this one. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Case 657 of 22 Wantagh, Peter A. and Laura J. Labenberg, 1290 Chelsea Road in Wantagh. Any discussion? This was just an appearance waiver. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 657 of 22 Wantagh at 1290 Chelsea Road, include the requested same conditions.
5 years. All in favor? Aye. First, second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Next case 650 of 22 Baldwin. Desirable A. Roman, 477 Park Avenue, Baldwin. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that case 658-2022 and 2477 Park Avenue be granted for a term of 5 years with the same previously imposed conditions.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next case 659-22 Left Use Associates LP, 3335 Hempstead, Turnpike, Levittown. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 659 of 2022, located at 3335 Hempstead Turnpike, Levittown, for Levittown Use Associates, be granted as requested with all prior conditions, 5 years.
Second. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next case 660 22 Garden City East, Stewart Avenue Realty LLC, 999 Stewart Avenue, Garden City East. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the case 66022 Garden City East be granted as requested.
Same conditions, 5 years. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? This one, we just got to get that thing about the building permit number straightened out. I wonder if it's just...
I looked at it. I called the forensic examiner. He actually expected both properties, but the one that was handwritten was the correct one. So
Okay.
we'll make sure to reflect that in it. But I confirmed that he did actually review it with no non-conformation.
Okay, excellent. Cases 661 through 662 of 23 Franklin Square, Michelle Garcia, 459 Jefferson Street, Franklin Square, adjourned November 16, 9:30 a.m. Case 663 and 22 in Wanto, Nicholas Albanese, 2073 Pine Street in Wanto. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion? Motion? 663 of 22.
663 of 22 in Montauk, Nicholas Albanese at 2073 Pine Street, be approved as requested.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Case 664 of 22, Lido Beach, Alex Amati, 143 Fairway Road, Lido Beach, adjourned to November 30 at 9:30 a.m. Cases 665 and 666 of 22, Merrick, Sarah, and Kaki Hussein. This is 88 Beach Drive in Merrick. This is the question about this one. I mean, even if this was granted, there's a possibility there may be a setback variance. When it goes back to the building department, maybe we should just put a note on it and let them determine what needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, we're not granting rear yard variance.
No, we're not asked to, so we're not granting it. But is there any other discussion on this?
You could hold it and send it back. It's okay. Rather than staying 3 months from now.
Well, it's something that they should pick up when it goes back to the building permit.
No, but he means we could grant this, and then if they have to do it down on a separate matter, because they can complete their sale.
The only caveat to that is they would have to go through the entire process again for the rear yard, or they'd have to rehear or reopen the matter in which the entirety of the application is back in jeopardy. Not saying it would change the decision, but the entire case would be back before the board again if they do.
If the building department raises it.
If the building department raises it.
They don't care and they let it go.
I feel more inclined to pursue the approach that Dave suggested. I will make a motion and should follow it.
Okay, so the motion to
I remove with regard to case 665, 2022 to 666, 2022, as the chairman has previously described the case, affecting the property at 88 Beach Drive in Merrick, that the request all be granted, just make sure there are no extra conditions, that it granted.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Abstentions? Next case is 667 and 668 of 22 in Oceanside. Michael Marciano, 366 Foxhurst Road in Oceanside. I think we were going to hold this, let the building department go inspect, see what the story is with the possible illegal use.
Yes,
So
we're going to send something, someone's going to are you, Mr. Volk, going to send it to the building department?
Yeah, I'll contact the inspectors. They'll consent to what happened.
My thoughts on that is to not allow that basement, just that they can convert it to a emergency egress window.
The only issue I have, and this is why I asked the question, and I know it's not the answer, and it probably is not something that's even germane to what we're discussing. But lawyers enter into escrow agreements to do closings, to expedite the closing, because everybody's pushing to get it done. What happens, like I asked her, what happens if we do not grant this? What are they going to do now? Because they've got money held in escrow to get this done. Litigate. When I do escrow agreements, that's always the last question I ask is what happens, even if it's a shed, what happens if it's not granted, then what? Well, then no matter what the answer is, it could be anything. They really need to deal with that. But it's sort of like having contractors that put it outside the kitchen so you don't need a permit. Nobody deals with that stuff. I don't know whether we have to consider that at all, but it's just something I, as a practitioner, consider because I know what can happen in spots like that. But again, right now we're just going to find out what the building department says, and then we'll decide what to do with the case itself. Next case, 669 of 22 Levittown, Stephen and Megan Robbins, 8 Gun Lane in Levittown. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that case 669 of 2022, Stephen and Megan Robbins at 8 Gun Lane in Levittown be granted as requested.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next two cases, 670 and 671.
By the way, on that case, 8 Gun Lane, that is not technically a corner. I don't think that even needed a variance.
No, that is a corner.
It is a curve. It was a very sloping curve, and it was not a smooth curve. It had like different.
It's all the same street too.
Yeah.
Which is why it was not interpreted as a corner property. It's the
Except
same
that she
street.
told us.
Practically, it functions the same way.
No, but except that she did tell us in the hearing that it's on her second front yard. In other words, they characterized it that way, which only would be a characterization of the corner.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the ball did that way, so that's why they were here. 670, 671, or 22 West Hempstead. Sing. South, let's see, Jennings Avenue, south of Wadley. This is the subdivision. They agreed to no basement entrance, owner occupied on sale conveyance. Is there any other discussion on this? Anything else anybody wants?
I thought it was okay. The lots are huge. It's not inconsistent with the neighborhood. It's kind of mixed over there, but
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem.
It's up to you.
I don't know, unless, if we want to.
Hold it on reserve?
No, no,
It's okay. Somebody want to make a motion?
You check the
Yes.
materials in the file. Okay, I will make a motion. I move, Mr. Chairman, cases 670, 22, 671, and 22, subdivision request by the Singh, if I'm saying it correctly, affecting property that doesn't have an address apparently, but is located on East Chase Avenue. Be approved as requested with the condition that there be no cellar entrance in either home and that each home be owner occupied thereafter.
And there are the normal requirements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next case is 672 and 673 of 22 West Hempstead. Jennifer Samanowitz, 14 Hawthorne Street, West Hempstead, is adjourned December 14th, 9:30 a.m. Case 674 of 22 in West Hempstead. Marvin E. Bethea and Karen Williams, 808 Myrna Drive, West Hempstead. Discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Okay, I move case 674 of 22 in West Hempstead, Marvin Thea and Karen Williams, at 808 Murder Drive, be approved as requested.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Case 95 of 22 Elmo Sarah Abasto, 2764 Madam Boulevard in Belmore, is adjourned December 7th, 9:30 a.m. Case 630 of 22 in Point Lookout, Corey Ann Bobowski and Edward Reines, 64 Mineola Avenue in Point Lookout.
I would like to have a chance to look over the chart that was provided by the applicant's representative. So I think, and I do want to go down and drive down the street and see. I think the chart might be a little misleading. For example, there was a case that the chart indicates has a 3'7" height variance that was decided in 03. Now, I'm guessing, and the crown of the road there is 7.64. So I'm guessing that really is, if the crown is 7.64 and they got 30 feet plus that, right? That gives them 37 feet 6 inches. And then, so the height variance is, that's a 37-foot tall house. And he's proposing a 47 foot. So that's still 10 feet shorter than the proposed house.
He submitted some photos of the aerial photos of the area. And if you look at those and then you point out the homes that received variances, they're still very different than what they are proposing.
Because this is being proposed as a height variance stacked on FEMA DFEs.
And well, those may be also, but they're all two-story with a third story, either a dormer,
some of them
not a full dormer, some of them have dog ears, some of them just have a deck on the third floor.
But if they were done in 03, there wasn't a FEMA.
But this one, as I said, when you look at it from the front, it's a full 3-story house, and that's up. And that's
and
still
the height is 47
and change.
which is a 6-foot height variance.
Look at the ceiling heights.
8 foot on the third story.
But they stacked some more
All
on the
the
DFE.
did that.
And they added 2.5 feet approximately on the DFE. They can cut 2.5 feet off just constructing at the DFE phase.
He's attempting to really build what he wants to build, and he's trying to make it fit as much as he can make it fit without having to start reducing things.
Yeah, and the third level, as the chairman mentioned, the third level is really a third level.
Yeah.
It's not just open
There's-
space
there's a- like
to get up to the roof deck.
There's a deck, there's storage, but there's also living space and a bathroom and two closets.
Yeah, it was 590 something.
Let's see this. Yeah. So anyway, so we'll hold it.
Yeah, I want to look
All right, last case, 5-4 of 22, West Hempstead, Michael Sofkidas, Angelique Ortiz, Beatrice Duran, John Velez, 547 Eagle Avenue, in West Hempstead, and I guess we'll just send basically an order to appear out to somebody, do something, and figure out whether we can get them in here, or just send the building department out and issue us a violation, or notice a violation to get their attention. All right.
What's your opinion on
No, he's going to look into what would be the best.
On that one, are we putting on the referral calendar, or are we turning it over to appear?
That's the question.
I would, well, let's all put on reserve for one time.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait.
Put it on reserve.
Put it on reserve? Yeah, okay, I'll put it on
And then
reserve.
figure out what the best approach procedurally is to get these people in here so we can just resolve it.
Yes,
Depending on what they tell us, then we can decide.
I'll contact the building inspector, say, take a look at the property, there's a problem about renewing the two-family grant, see if they have any information, or they'll issue a citation. Issue a citation, we'll get them in here.
I mean, as long as they come in and they meet the requirements, this is an easy case.
Or they restore back to one family, and they still need permits.
Yeah.
And the litigation is to purchase a two-family property, which is for a lot more than one family.
If they issue a citation, you're assuming the district court will send that back.
Well, no, they'll issue a citation and we'll have to send to the district court. However, I'll instruct John, please, when you put someone in there, say, go to the zoning board and help resolve this, because it will be a lot easier. I'll tell the town board, if they do actually correct it here, we'll request a much lower.
So you as a council, you recommend that we refer or put it on reserve?
I mean, as a practical matter, it's...
Let's do a reserve for it.
Let's do a referral for reserve, and then we have to put on the referral.
Thank you.
All right, reserve calendar.
First case, 43522, MCRT. All of that. I sent a draft resolution, sent it back to the town board, to the fourth floor. They're looking at it to see if they want to adopt that back to the decision. As for 645 St. Court, Bob O'Brien gave me new plans. So we're rolling
Which one?
645.
I'm looking at 645. It's case 4.
Case 4, yeah. Case 4, apologies. So these are the plans Bob gave me yesterday. I had Jimmy and Becky look at them, so if they're required to do variances, they do not. The chief concern on this property, I know it's been a bit,
The stairway.
they're including the stairs in the interior.
And then it doesn't overlook the
And the deck, right?
Exactly, and the rear deck. So you have a 15-foot rear deck. I'm not sure if they reduced, I told them that was a big concern, but I'm not sure if they actually reduced it on the plan.
They didn't increase the footprint either.
They're not, I think the footprint is actually identical. We did recommend, okay, no, it's exactly the same footprint, except for the side yard is now a little wider because the staircase is now removed. So it's 14 feet 6 inches. The side yard is a little wider than the stairs, but they didn't decrease the rear deck. That is still the same, even though I did express the board's concern that being able to sit up there on that rear deck, but they did not. We can always put a condition in to say it needs to be reduced by a certain
So
portion.
there is entrance from the apartment.
Entrance is still from the rear as well as internal. No, sorry. All the entrances are from internal. They're not exit, but there are exits that are against the building.
Yes, sir. Nice. All right, so what we do a draft grant on this one?
Okay. For the congregation, I should dash. I spoke to John about that one. Yeah, we're going to do that afternoon. Similar to Rockland portfolio. Let's hold that one. Leahy. Once again, I spoke with John Lipinski. This was first of October 11th, and I followed up with him last Friday. He got back to me yesterday. He's whipping his inspectors to the shade and making sure that someone goes down there. I got an email this morning confirming, but we haven't gotten the information on it yet. As for the Hostins and the cool matter, the only thing on that is I got a phone call from the Hostins
I
president.
can take a look at that.
Okay.
And my concern, my inquiry was related predominantly to the request to construct a dwelling on a road, an unapproved street under the 288 provisions. There are others in the neighborhood that are similar in this area. I'm pretty familiar with the property, and I'm okay with the case. I think we can grant it.
Conditions?
Yeah, no conditions, standard.
Okay. All right, do I have a second on
We have
that?
to do easement agreements, I imagine, right?
So standard home agreements and then crossing between parties
Yeah, I think it probably.
to guarantee access.
To ADA.
Well, it doesn't belong to any of the homeowners. I mean, they don't have the right to grant an easement on public property. This is public
This is
property.
280, this is public property?
The 288, yeah, it's just unfit. It's not.
Right.
It's just not,
It's a paper road.
yeah, it's not,
No one owns the paper street, it's kind of just a.
But it's on paper, but there's no
it's not
pavement.
maintained by the town or anything.
Right.
But,
Don't they have to petition the town?
That's their problem.
Well, they have to petition, they can make it a
Private street.
No, they have to petition the town for the time to adopt it as a public street.
And they won't do that.
They won't do that, no. All the garbage goes to the end of the line.
What would the logistics of all that is theirs to be concerned about? We're just granting them the right to build it on a smaller lot.
To transgress the property that's owned by the town.
Well, again, it's public access. Everybody uses that. Some of them are using the public property as their own. They actually built that onto it, but they have no right to block that. It's not theirs. You can't get eminent domain over any public property. It's not an adverse possession. Yes, you can do that.
Jurisdictions.
All right, so we have a motion on that?
Yes.
Okay, second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, next case.
Next one, I apologize for the quick turnaround on this one.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
I sent the draft conditions.
Yes, last week.
No, the conditions that Bill last week, and then I was asking you a draft grant, so I have a draft grant.
We sent that yesterday. Did everybody have a chance to read it?
We had a chance to read it.
Yes. Okay.
Please get it as,
Somebody want to make a motion to adopt the grant? Mr. Pellegrini, would you like to make that motion? Is that 572, 573? Do you want to hold it until we have a full board?
Well, we will have a full board this afternoon.
Okay, so let's hold it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, that's a good idea.
No problem there.
And same thing with the next case also.
Yep, and that's all I have.
Okay.
I did send out a list of communities for next year.
Which I am not involved in, so it's up to you guys.
Are they all Wednesdays?
I'm sorry?
Are they all Wednesdays?
They're all Wednesdays. There's 28 dates with 8 additional dates that possibly.
Tentative dates.
Tentative dates, just so that we can procedurally go through if we wanted to add something, prepare
Wednesdays
prior
or
to.
Wednesdays?
Do I have a motion to adopt the
I move
proposed
that we
dates?
adopt the proposed dates as described by Secretary Patrick.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? What else?
At least you didn't oppose it because you
I won't
wanted to have
oppose
more.
it. I won't
No, I'm
oppose it.
joking. I oppose it. Make me up. We used to do 35, 33, 33.
I started with 40 before we began. We used it down to 31, but that's what we did. Cell cases, and I mean, what else we got besides that? That's it. All right, so it's break time for 2 o'clock. And we'll see if we can get the rest of these stuff on the reserve calendar that we do this morning.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of cases on that, so let's see if we can get back to it.
This one also is
No. Something you know about the you Oh, good. I like that they did the tentative dates are it was smart to disperse them.
Yeah, I think we came to a good agreement.
they messed up.
Oh, yes, no, that's it. That's right.
They probably went by the ink for it, though.
No, they just said, okay.
Well, we can kind of use it too, because, I mean, what we do, color helps. Yeah, color helps with what we do.
The hearing on my birthday.
You'll have to bring in the paint. What do you guys want to eat?
Oh, nice.
We have hearings on my birthday.
There's a hearing on my birthday this year. But no one ever knows my birthday.
When's your birthday?
I can't remember.
Copy of my appointment. Expired, I've been framed as expired December 31st, 2022.
Right. Somebody text me on the side. I have to go home. I can't because my sister's